the the attitude of a real man. That's month number 5. How did I did with that? Well, starting with the beginning, right? Is what inspired me to choose this. Is the fact that I realized that your attitude, it it's what you can do about it. It's in your control. Okay? And that is important because what we're trying to do here is to build something that is, and we're trying to focus on things that are on our control, right? So for whatever is not in our control, we just have a attitude of gratitude. Just be thankful for what God gives to you. Appreciate it and just move on. But if it's something that you can do about it, then your attitude should be changed. For example, last year I was with my brother. And I spent a lot of time buying gifts, presents for them. Because in my heart, Christmas was about sharing gifts, spending time together. And I realized that that wasn't the same for them. So, you know what? I'm still grateful and thankful for it, but second year, I avoid them because, spending all that time and energy into something and then not getting back with respect. One will think, well, maybe I should consider to use my resources wisely, right? So you see, you can't really go around having an attitude expecting people to do things for you the way you do it. Even though, it would be nice to see, for example, when you offer some flowers to a woman, it would be nice to know that, or to see that she put it in the water. But if she chooses to chuck it in the bin, then that's her decision, right? It shouldn't affect you. You wouldn't give her another time the same flowers. I know you wouldn't do the same thing twice, but that shouldn't stop you from giving flowers to women, right? You just need to understand that you need to make better decisions. So this year, I'm spending Christmas alone, thinking about what I'm doing, my future life, my family that I will create, and not the one that I'm part of, that have nothing to do with it, which for which I'm grateful. But since I'm spending my energy onto something, it might just be on something that it makes sense for me and brings me something back. I see some return on my investment. If not, I could just be alone and I'll be fine. I don't need no fake ass people around me to make me feel like shit for no reason. Okay? So, that much I learned. Your attitude should be one of gratitude, of course, because there's, you know, basically at the end of the day, you should be thankful and ask God for wisdom in how could you bring glory to His name, right? Just ask Him to teach you how to do what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. What's your purpose, right? What the plan was in the first place for you. And the more you ask Him for that, the more clarity you will have. And you will stop wasting time on things that you think they should be like that just because people are doing it. Just because it's used. Usually this is what we do. Traditionally, this is what we do. It's custom to do this. That's not how God works, you see. Or anything in this world, for anything that worth having and focus on. It works on its own creation, creative nature. And your creative nature has to come from inside. It's definitely not by following others' rules that you become creative, but by following the heart inside, your passion, your flame, right? So the more you do that, the more you understand what needs to be done and what you're doing good and what you don't. I guess you do have to be thankful for the lessons that all these people taught you by showing you that that's not the way. Okay, that's still feedback. Still, you should be thankful for it. And I don't know, maybe your mission is not really that important as Jesus was, right? But it's still a good mission. You're still working towards the right plan. So you are still a part of the plan. That's still good. I was coming back from shop, and I've seen a woman with a problem to her foot. She had like a handicap or something, and she couldn't walk correctly, properly. And then I remember how Jesus was walking around and healing these people by touching them, since without them giving them nothing back, or having no some sort of special entitlement. And that just surprised me, and it makes me feel so small and insignificant, and humbles me every single time. Because when he was here, he was a man. He was able to do that with just a touch or a few words, and we're not able to do pretty much anything to that level, for sure. So I guess one way to keep yourself humble, to have a attitude of gratitude as a man, is always keep God in mind and how much he accomplished, and still he was just crucified, part of the plan. I was always asking myself, why did God choose to be born in a place like that, in poverty and misery, and didn't choose to be born in a palace, like as son of somebody with great wealth and power? Why did he do that? And then it dawned to me. You see the human nature when he has stuff, right? He just self-destructive. He just ends up abusing. doing too much. I guess what he did really was give us a way to keep ourselves humble, because we can never really we can never really top that. We can never do better than that. There's no way you can possibly try to do all of that. You know, it's Christmas now, and I'm thinking this is a time of getting together for us Christians, and just accepting each other without good and well, good and bad. And this is a man that sacrifices life for his friends and for you people that he will never meet, right, on that planet. For the one that will come, right? He never met during his life. So you up here looking at, you can't even say I'm sorry. Like, when did you said I'm sorry and you really meant it to somebody? Like, you really felt that in your heart that you're really sorry. You see? So that's why I said I think that we're really faking it, You're not real. You're not real, man. Not a real man. Since you still live in this planet, you're clearly not real enough. You're still faking it, man. But anyways, sacrificing your life for your friends, God said that it's the biggest reward that a man can have on this world. Not for your family. Because what are friends basically? They are the family that you choose, right? And in God's perspective, it's always about choice, making the right choice. They're your brothers and sisters that you are choosing. That's what friends are. And to die for them, sacrificing your life for them, and them then follow your teaching and preaching and sharing the word with others, and your knowledge, your perspective, your methods, right? How you put things in practice during your life. And that's definitely a great achievement. And still you can't say I'm sorry to a friend who's still pissed off and stuff like that. You're holding grudges and nonsense like that. I guess that's what you need to learn, man. To change your attitude about these things, control your attitude. You can't really complain about the rain, but your attitude about it can change. Yeah, you can buy an umbrella, right? So the way this world is made, it's interesting, to be honest. I wish you will be able to discover it as much as possible. But it's your attitude towards it really that matters, man. And your interaction with others and how you influence them beyond your reach and afterwards. When you will leave, right? They're not in your presence anymore. How would they talk about you? Stuff like that. Maybe your attitude as a man does have a great part of it. A big chunk of it is decided by that. Your attitude towards what they did, the environment, the attitude towards their behavior towards you. Maybe some of them they're angry, maybe some of them they don't like you, whatever. Your attitude towards it will dictate how they would remember you. So yeah, as a real man, You have to work on that and understand how they perceive you. You can be an actor if you want. Act until you actually master that behavior, but it's the output that matters, the way you put yourself in the world. That's what they will remember for. Not what happens in your head, not what you're feeling. Right? Maybe work on that. You have to work on that. No matter how hard it is, you have to maintain it. And that wraps it up. Let's move on